And you can think that you are putting out this persona that you're so hardworking and you're so devoted to your company and but what people older than you and more experienced than you and more senior than you are thinking is, how come this person does not know how to manage their time, that they can't get their work done within the 9 to 5. Hi everyone, and welcome to Apprenticeish, where we talk all about apprentices, apprenticeships, kind of.
My name is Alika.
And my name is Josephine.
And we are your hosts of the Apprenticeish Podcast. Hi,
yes.
JC.
Hi. So I'm very excited about this conversation because we're going to be discussing whether we think degree apprenticeships are a scam.
Spoiler? Are we giving a spoiler? Are they a scam?
I think we should just give honesty, because like we're 5 years deep.
Yeah.
So I feel like we've got a lot to say.
Yeah, a lot.
And the first category is complexity, and how we thought the course would be compared to how it is. And for me, I feel like I was very confused when, like, on day one, I did not know how we were going to get to the finish line. I knew that 6 years was a long time, but I didn't see how I would be a qualified solicitor at the end of it.
Yeah. In what way?
I was thinking there's a whole mountain of boxes to tick, work to do, skills to learn.
All of that's correct.
Yeah, and it's just like, how will this be structured? How, like, what milestones must I be hitting? Will it be too much? Will it be easy? Like, I just didn't really know what to expect, because this is a very alternative route and I'm used to traditional law school, training contracts. So it's like everything one at a time and like being built up, not everything at the same time.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, how will this happen? But now that I'm in it, I mean, there was a lot to keep up with the first couple of years. Yeah. And I struggled. Yeah. But now that I'm in,
we all did. But you know what though? There is like a lot of content out there from first year apprentices now. First, second, maybe a little bit of third. Solicitor apprentices specifically, who are, they make it appear as if the apprenticeship program as a whole is like quite easy in terms of management, all of the categories we're going to talk about now. Yeah. So I think, I don't know, it's obviously very early to give an answer to that question, but if we're looking at just how the first year experience is as an apprentice via or through the lens of social media, it's a breeze.
Which is a lie.
Yeah. Well, no, but it isn't a lie for some people.
I would say, it's a completely different world, especially if you're fresh from sixth form. Yeah. So to give the illusion that it's a breeze would be a disservice to the people that are looking up to you thinking, oh, I'm interested in a solicitor apprenticeship. What does it entail? But very, very valid point. Like, there are actually apprentices that are not being trusted with anything more than like filing and printing and stuff like that. I think it is a healthy thing for year ones and year twos to like dip their toes into the water and focus more on training and learning and knowing where to go. Do you know when you need to consult compliance? Do you know when you need to speak to facilities, accounts? Do you know how the firm operates? Have you read the policies? Have you been inducted properly? All of this is so important for like building your blocks of understanding. But yeah, I do think that it is a lot anyway. Yeah. But the one thing I'm grateful for is that there are documents, there are job descriptions, handbooks, training. There's a source or a resource for everything that you need to do. Yeah. You're never just going to be in the deep end flailing like, who should I speak to? What can I do? There's support at every like turn. Yeah. So that's why I don't believe it's a scam in that sense, because of the amount of resources you have at your fingertip. Yeah.
That's a fair point. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. I think it is, I don't want to say it's like a luxury, but I think at smaller companies that have degree apprentices, and not all of those resources are there.
True.
So that's definitely our experiences. And to be honest, most of the apprentices that are doing degree apprenticeships, but where perhaps the company is not as well financially off as like larger companies, perhaps that resource or comfort is not there.
Yeah, I feel like that does need to be caveated. Like our experience is very unique.
I'm finding.
Yeah.
I think as well, there's a lot to be said, not even just from like the work perspective, but also, you know, how the course is set up. I was telling you earlier this week that I went to this, a conference? I don't know.
Like
it was
a
like
webinar thing.
Yeah. Let's say that. Okay. And it was this thing, they were talking to prospective students about degree apprenticeships. And obviously in that presentation, they were talking about how some of them interact with the study side.
Okay.
So some of them were saying that they have to go into university 1 day a week. Yeah. And then obviously other apprentices we've spoken to, they go to uni for the first year. Just like everyone's interaction with university is quite different. Yeah. I think that was a bit of a scam.
I feel like that's course specific though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like,
and institution specific.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like would we benefit as people working in the legal industry, would we benefit from the first year, so contract, tort and public and EU law, even as a full-time student, and then start working? Like, I don't know. But I do see why another course, maybe like banking or finance, would want to do a year. I mean, I love the fact that apprentice got the university experience, because that's something we lack. Some people think it's uni work without the uni experience.
Yeah.
Which is kind of true.
Yeah. No, it is.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the whole, I don't want to say scam thing though, but I wasn't expecting to hand in essays every week. I wasn't expecting to go to 1-2 days of summer school, was it? Or previously 2 days
now. There's like a skills day, 2 summer schools. Yeah. It's different. It's long. That's something that shocked me. Yeah. That's when I felt, okay, I've been scammed, because I have experience of going to a traditional university. Yeah. So I know how things are set up, and you're studying the 4 or 5 modules that you're studying at the same time, or maybe 3 at the same time, do the exams for them. But in our apprenticeship, you are literally studying one module from start to finish by itself, and you have to sort of, the way it's being taught and the work you have to produce, it's like you're going through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and you almost have like a mastery of the module. And so I was like, if we have to do this for like 20 plus modules, this is going to take ages. And it does, because a law degree is supposed to be 3 years, and it's taking us like 5.5. Yeah. So very long. Very. Yeah. But given our endpoint assessment, I'm grateful for the teaching style. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Very well equipped for SQE prep. 100%. I don't know about other like educational institutions providing the training for the solicitor apprenticeship, but I can't fight the way EU law has set it out, because now when we're going to do SQE prep, it's just revision. Yeah, they've almost designed it to set us up for success for SQE, because I've noticed the LPC modules that have been added to our degree are all like the functioning legal knowledge that we need for the SQE one. So it's really like hand designed for that assessment, which I'm happy for. And the proof is in the pudding. Like solicitor apprentices are like, they're really, really excelling. This is statistics, SQE. Guys. Statistics. Yeah, and the statistics are getting better and better each year. I remember 2023, it was quite good. It was like 26% higher than everyone else. So yeah, I like the course design, but I did feel like it was a bit bamboozled. I agree. Yeah. And I was talking about how long it was. Like, let's talk about time, because that was the biggest. The time invested was the biggest part of this apprenticeship. That was like most unexpected to me. Shocked. Yeah. Still trying.
some people are still trying to say it's a 5-year program.
And it's not.
Okay, we're talking specifically about the solicitor apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And you get a law degree at the end of it, because there are different levels of this thing.
Yeah.
This is not a 5-year program, just so we're clear.
But I feel like in the world of degree apprenticeships, everyone is looking at solicitor apprenticeships and trying to model their industry's apprenticeship program off that.
Really?
Barrister apprenticeships, teacher degree apprenticeships, medical degree apprenticeships, they all mention the solicitor apprenticeship because of what it's doing for our industry.
Yeah. Also, it's quite regulated. All of those industries are,
Yeah. But yeah, the time. So I feel like the apprenticeship, the solicitor degree apprenticeship, let's be specific, makes you very time poor. And yeah, you can either be time poor or really time poor. That's how I feel it is. So with good time management, you can be time poor, but with bad time management, I just think with bad time management and not focusing and not making the most out of your study days, you can be in that type of time poverty that there's nothing else that exists outside of this apprenticeship, like your health, your family, your friends, like food, eating, drinking water.
Simple water.
It doesn't exist.
Simple water.
And I've seen both sides of that coin.
That's the go.
So it's definitely a journey.
Journey.
Yeah.
That's a good word.
It's definitely a journey because we're all fighting the enemy of burnout.
My eyes twitching as we speak. We're in exam season, so I'm okay to say that. Okay.
Oh my God. Have you noticed that all the industries that offer degree apprenticeships, they're all like notorious for having a burned out like workforce?
I'm out of my business.
It's something to be, I feel like it's something to be spoken about. Even when you're in year one and you're fresh-eyed and you're wide-eyed and you have all this energy and you don't need coffee to get through the day. It's
great. I love that for them.
I still feel like they should be taught about burnout because it's something that is a creeper and it's exposure to intense and large workloads over a long period of time. So, you might think you're bossing it month 1, month 2.
Yeah.
But burnout will come for you if you don't manage yourself well and manage your time well.
Exactly.
And just your overall health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people, even that I've kind of like spoken to when we went to summer school, who like we were next to year 1 students mixed in, like where we were sitting, and I think she was just asking advice for where we were at in the program.
Wait, who was asking for advice?
Someone from year 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And whilst they were explaining things, they were getting very overwhelmed, and I was just like, leave out. Like what they're asking you. No, honestly, like year 1.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Like for any apprentice, this is literally your building blocks. This is not I feel like it's not the real apprenticeship.
And year 2.
Yeah.
And year 2.
Yeah.
Let's not lie.
Yeah. Yeah. Go on holiday.
Yeah.
Leave the country. Like rest, enjoy, spend time with your household.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
3, 4, 5. Halfway through year 3, I think.
I'm thinking at how I was doing year 1 and year 2 and I wanted to tick every box and I was just
it's okay
wrapped in perfectionism and there was no need. It was so unnecessary.
Zero.
Because hard work is coming.
Yeah. Hard labor.
And in increased responsibility is coming. So I would definitely tell year 1s and year 2s to enjoy themselves.
Please enjoy.
But in that same breath, take care of your physical health.
Please do.
It's a sedentary lifestyle. You're doing work and uni at the same time. So you need to be active. You need to find what it is that helps you clear your head and reduce your stress. You need to drink your water. You need to eat good food.
Yeah.
You cannot run on E.
Please eat.
Please eat.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's so important because I think back to when I was 18 and how I could do a full day on like 3 hours sleep and 2 coffees.
I need a nap now.
I need a nap.
I need a nap. Run me my bed.
Like a lunchtime nap. Oh my gosh, that would be so great.
Yeah.
But it's really important. It's so important because it's like, if you're not taking care, you need to be in good condition to do an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
It will backfire if you don't take care of yourself.
And also as well, and we were talking about this the other day, but like, I can't afford to go to work tired. It's not like, the responsibility is too risky. You can make too many errors. Like, I need to not only pour into me, but also allow other people to pour into me, so that when I show up, I'm showing up well. Yeah. Because one thing about the workplace, obviously, I'm not saying this is my team right now, because we thank God I'm actually in a really nice team. Yeah. But there are other places and workplaces, teams, etc., where people are, and I know we're not really talking about competition culture right this second, but if it can put you at risk, I just feel like it's good for you to show up well, so you can be okay.
Your enemies want to see you.
Suffer.
Your enemies want to see your eyes closing at 2 p.m.
It's not good.
They want to see you struggling. Yeah. So I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, don't be your own enemy. Like, if somebody comes to you at 5 p.m. and it's like, why are you still working? Go home. Yeah. Why are you fighting? Why are you arguing back?
Laptop. No, close it right now.
Literally, like this every day at 5:30, you just need to be like, what am I doing? Yeah. Like, close this laptop. What am I doing past this time? Because I'm not being paid for this.
No, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And it will be here tomorrow.
It will be.
Yeah.
Tends to be.
When you sign a 6-year contract, you can always say that the work will be here tomorrow. So
that works, yeah. But I think this is where it comes to, like, mindset, particularly as it, you know, relates to mental health even. If you have this glorified idea of which is what I think is popular culture, work hard, hustle hard, you know, break your back, tear your hair out.
God forbid.
Yeah, but you get what I mean? Like, people are really excited to say, I work in this company, or I'm doing a program for this long, and it's an apprenticeship where I receive all of these benefits, and on top of that, I'm leaving the office at 10 p.m, 11 p.m. Like, that's a badge of honor. And, you know, I think, look, it's law. The reality is, at some point, you're going to have to put time in, and it's not going to be optional, because the work requires that sometimes. But I do think there's a time and a place.
100%.
And trying to make overworking your identity can become very harmful.
Fast. And you can think that you are putting out this persona that you're so hardworking and you're so devoted to your company and but what people older than you and more experienced than you and more senior than you are thinking is, how come this person does not know how to manage their time, that they can't get their work done within the 9 to 5.
It was just like, I can't understand why this said person is back every single day, like super late. Maybe she can't understand how to prioritize tasks. I was like, jump scare.
Yeah, because if it becomes
standard.
If it becomes a habit, then you know, you're not managing your time well then. And I can't lie, as an apprentice, it's mixed bag, because in one sense you are doing uni and work at the same time, and you're wearing several other hats as well. But in another breath, most apprentices, you know, they're either living with their parents or they're living independently, but they don't have children. They don't have a spouse back at home. They don't have like a lot to run home to get done. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got to go home and do this. Yeah. So, you know, working mothers and all these people will be leaving on time because they've got other things to do. And you have that space.
Oh, I see.
To work late. Yeah. That's, to me, you should fill that with something healthy and good. You shouldn't be stretching yourself.
Have a hobby.
Yeah. Get a life. Yeah. Get a hobby. I mean, I feel like
I like knitting.
It becomes knitting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know this about you.
Yeah, surprise.
Really?
Yeah, I knew.
That's good.
I'm learning an instrument as well.
What are you learning?
The viola.
Oh my gosh, I love the viola.
Thank you.
That's like, is that like a smaller version of the violin?
Larger.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The violin is small.
Okay.
So it's quite high pitched. The viola is lower.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's hard.
I need to like get back into my music bag. One time I was playing piano. But
really?
It's gone. Yeah.
Jesse, I didn't know that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But the thing is, I wasn't playing piano like I want to learn classical piano.
Yeah.
I was playing my favourite songs on the piano.
Progress.
I was playing like CeeLo Green, Forget You.
You know
and Moment for Life by Nicki Minaj. I wasn't doing anything impressive.
So somebody asked you what grade you were. What grade you were?
I don't know what you're talking.
I haven't heard that song in a long time.
What? Moment for Life?
You.
Oh, Forget You. Yeah. Oh, I love that song.
Anyway.
Yeah, so taking care of your physical and mental health, very important. Another thing to say for aspiring solicitor apprentices, if you're getting into law, there is a chance that you'll be exposed to mentally challenging situations. Like for us, we work in a human rights law firm. We're going to see and hear some horrible things and some sad things, and it can be isolating because of the principle of confidentiality. You cannot share these things. You cannot go home and tell your mum or your friend, or like call someone and say, oh, I've had a really heavy day because this is what I had to do with this client. So it is very lonely sometimes. So for me, it's like there is an element of this program that is already putting you in isolation a little bit. So why isolate yourself further by neglecting your commitments, by neglecting your friend's dinner and this and that? Like it's time to, when it's time to go, it's time to go. Yeah, is my bottom line. But I know that social life and social health is something that we should touch on. I don't know if you want to take the lead on that.
I actually kind of wanted to link it back to that time commitment thing that you mentioned earlier. Because it came into my brain like on the first day that we had the apprenticeship when they were talking about timelines.
Day one.
Yeah. You don't
Do
remember?
I remember day one?
You probably
No, it will ring a bell.
I sat down. This is after our head of L&D.
Okay.
She spoke about it all because I remember after her presentation I went over to her and she was talking obviously about the length of time it's going to take to complete the program, etc. And I was like, someone could literally be married with children by the end of this program.
Yeah.
No, but as in like, do you have to understand how long that is?
Yeah.
Married with multiple kids, by the way. So I just think social health or social life or all of that kind of stuff, when it comes to the apprenticeship, is, I'm going to say it's a mixed bag because some people actually have been having children during this program. But I remember one of the summer schools, they mentioned how many people have became mothers during the apprenticeship.
I love that for them, though.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
They're superhuman.
Listen.
I'm struggling by myself.
Do you know what's actually crazy?
Yeah.
When I interact with people who are pregnant, preparing for SQ1, I know, my prayers go out to you because that's a lot.
I wouldn't know what to say.
Also, by the way, SQE is the solicitor's qualification exams. I realise not everyone might know that. So at the end of our program, in order for us to finish the apprenticeship, you have to do the solicitor's qualification or solicitor's qualifying exams or qualification exams, one of the two.
Yeah.
And you have to pass SQE1 and pass SQE2 in order to qualify as a solicitor through this program that we're on. But yeah, I just think trying to balance your social life is actually really hard. It's much easier to just let it go on the wayside.
Yeah.
I don't know, just things that you would normally be thinking about, like dating or like romantic partners.
Yeah.
These kind of stuff, they just come about. And unless it is right in front of you, you have to really make an intentional effort, because you can get quite involved in this program and work and uni because there is always something to do. Friends, making new friends, work gatherings.
Okay.
I think I've been okay with managing pre-apprenticeship friends. But obviously it's kind of hard for people who most of their friendship group is in full-time uni, because your schedules are so different.
Yes. But then also, plus side, you've got a salary. You're not on student finance. You can just, book annual leave or book that train to the uni campus, go see your friend at uni and spend a nice time with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good that you've kept up with your friends, pre-apprenticeship friends, because I don't know, for me. I feel like a lot of my friends are low maintenance, like me. So we'll meet up like after a year and be like, oh my gosh, like, hey, I was for ages. Both apologizing for our absences. But yeah, there's obviously distance there, and things change. And the friends that I make in my apprenticeship, who I am in closer proximity to, just out of convenience, I'm getting closer and closer to them. And it's just natural that I've distanced from my pre-apprenticeship friends. I mean, apart from like my besties, I feel like a lot of people have fallen away, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, we're still on good terms.
Yeah.
I'll still come to your birthday party, but like, it's quite distant now.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I was about to say that's a bad thing, but I feel like I've cleared space for new connections, and I feel like a lot of change, connections, friends, acquaintances. I just feel like 6 years is a long time, like we've been saying. You grow. I am not year one Josephine, and I don't think I have the friend. I don't think I'd be relating to the people I was gallivanting with in year one. Gallivanting. Gallivanting and drinking it up with in year one. I'm not really like on that.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's good. I think. I think it is what you say, like you enter the apprenticeship as one person, but life happens over time. So you naturally become somebody completely different by the time you finish the program. So, but talking about connections, networking.
Networking has been a roller coaster for me.
Really? Okay.
Roller coaster is an engagement.
Okay.
It's either I'm talking to nobody or I'm out here. Like, I'm making my rounds. So one thing I will say is the access is unreal.
To what?
The access to people within your industry, people that can help you, people that have like advice, like just the access to how many people there are at networking events and all the events that are sent your way is unreal. I believe it's almost unsustainable. You can't do them all. You're not expected to attend them all. But I think in year one and year two I was just jumping about and trying to collect numbers and collect LinkedIn connections and collect mentors, and not really doing my due diligence, because when it comes to networking and properly connecting with somebody in the hopes of becoming a mentee or collaborating with them, or just being a part of each other's community, quality matters way more than quantity.
100%.
So I would say that part of networking was a bit of a scam for me, like going to an event with 100 people and everybody's like drinking Chardonnay, and it's just like, oh, there's a partner, there's a lawyer, there's a barrister, there's this, like, no. I would just cut the small talk and just stay still for a bit. And I feel like networking doesn't always have to be events. It can be something more intimate if you're more introverted. So it can be a dinner, it can be a coffee, it can be a walk at lunchtime. And I think those are my primary networking styles.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's my take on networking.
I think networking, I haven't really enjoyed the concept of it.
Really?
Just because, no, but from the standpoint of like going to the events, I find them really challenging to like get my head around, because obviously everything is very surface level. I don't like that. Yeah.
Me too.
I find it very disconcerting. Like, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
To say that. And you know, the only reason I say that is because since going to some events, like, I'll interact with that person, they have the most amount of energy. But then outside of that event,
you never hear from them again.
Yeah, like,
that's not funny.
Not even that, but or even if I do see like around, it's just weird. Like,
almost like the interaction was fake.
Yeah. So I think obviously there's a place and a time for that. Don't get me wrong. Like, you can't ignore that side of networking. But if I had the choice, and I try not to lean into like the surface level stuff.
Yeah.
I want to, if I'm connecting with you, I want to see you in. I'm invested in this relationship that we're building here. Yeah. And obviously you can't build 5 trillion. You can't do that with 5 trillion people.
100%. I feel like if you're at a large networking event, like speaking with maybe 2 to 3 people, that's a win for me. If they're actual people that you're gonna like touch base with, and you know, next month or the month after, you're gonna say, oh, like, let's get a coffee, let's get a tea, or how are you doing? You have things to talk about, and you have similarities. That's what matters. I feel like, the having 1 trillion people is draining. It's draining. And I've noticed at networking events I've recently been to, it's almost like people are on this like speed dating thing.
Yeah, I'm not
where they've come to me, they've taken maybe 2 or 3 minutes of my time talking about themselves. There's not been any connection. There's not been any, oh, we have this in common. And then, oh, can I get your LinkedIn? And I'll be like, okay, yeah, sure. And then they walk away, and I'm never going to see this person again. Yeah. So I've been getting speed dating vibes from networking.
Like that's quite common though, and I think it's because people go into anyway, networking is a whole other discussion. But people go into networking with the mindset of what can you do for me. Like, it's very, okay, cool, you have this position, you work at this company or whatever. Yeah. Rather than, okay, let's actually build a relationship and, you know, the benefits will come naturally rather than seeking the benefits first. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
We could actually talk about it for a while, so. Forever. Let's wrap it up. But I mean, just following on from networking, I feel like building your internal and external profile is very, very important.
Yeah. You can network internally.
100%. I mean, every company has societies, committees, you know, go to I don't do this, I should practice what I preach, but you should go to a Friday night drink, FNDs.
You don't have to drink alcohol.
Yeah. Have nurse your soft drink, nurse your orange juice. Yeah. There are lunches. There are opportunities for you to boost your internal profile in so many different ways. If you're not really like trying to socialize, you could collaborate with someone and write an article or a blog for the website. Like you can do so much. You can work with marketing and get involved with their social media content. Like there is a lot that you can do to boost your internal profile. Yeah. And then externally, you know, you have LinkedIn, which I love. And there are fundraising. There are fundraising endeavors. Yeah. I know that like in our industry, that is very, very important and very, very, it's looked upon very admirably, like London Legal Walk and raising money for access to justice and stuff. Yeah. There's public speaking, and there is just any efforts to make the industry a bit more diverse, maybe speaking to primary school, secondary school, just inspiring people to want to engage with law. Yeah. So there is a lot you can do. Even what I've said, that's just like tip of the iceberg.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as well, just to like add to that, there's a different side of people. There is a different side to the people that you work with when you interact with them on a more social level. Like if you're drafting, information, or you're speaking to them, whilst in the office, and maybe they've just had like a horrible work call, or it's just being in the office can be quite intense sometimes.
Yeah.
When you're interacting with them at a trivia or a quiz or lunch where there's food, you know what I mean? Like it's a very it brings out a different side of them that being around their desk is not going to bring out.
100%.
So yeah, even just like building internal relationships, and you never know what or who or what could happen as a result of interacting with them in that way. But I think that can also be quite fantastic.
Yeah, there are a lot of good aspects of office working, and that whole on the job learning part of the degree apprenticeship. For us, like there is a lot. We're in a nice building. There's like hot chocolate and free coffee, and there's a cafe with all these snacks and stuff. I think for me, the reason I'm learning so much is because I'm not knocking on someone's door. Can I disturb you? Sorry to disturb you. Everybody's an open plan. You are hearing conversations with clients. You are hearing how to speak to clients. You are hearing how to speak to counsel and all these other parties that you're eventually going to have to be doing these jobs, and you're seeing them happen in action every day. So yeah, I really enjoy that part of the office environment. And I also enjoy the fact that we can make our rounds. I know that and this is purely just solicitor apprenticeships, by the way, that I'm speaking about when I say making your rounds and changing seats. A law firm will probably have a lot to offer in terms of their different departments, and they decide how their solicitor apprentice rotates, how often. For us, it's 2 years in one discipline, and then a year in each discipline thereafter. And so making rounds for me means that I can sow my seeds in different areas. I was about to say grow, but there's not enough time for that, especially the 1 year seats. Like you could be getting into something and then you have to go, it's Christmas and you have to go to the next seat. So that's the sad part about it. But the fact that after this apprenticeship, I can say, I have experience in clinical negligence. I've had seats in human rights, international group claims, employment law and discrimination law. So there's a lot. Like after this apprenticeship, I can say that I've got to experience a lot.
Huge amount.
Yeah, and it's more than you would get if you were doing things the traditional way. You might get 1 or 2 seats, and the fact that we get so many, I really enjoyed that part of the apprenticeship program.
I think doing a traditional training contract, it is only 1 or 2 seats, or in some places they do 4 6-month rotations.
Oh, that'll be even worse.
I think my only issue with that is it's quite hard to get to grips with, obviously in the same amount of detail as we've been able to. So I mean, hey, you do get around 4 different departments, but it's trying to get so much exposure in that time is going to be a little bit challenging when it comes to be choosing realistically where you want to go.
100%. And also you want to be useful. And I feel like for the first month, whenever you do something new or join something new, you're more like a sponge. And you're meant to, and you've got a lot to learn. You've got to learn the team's dynamics. If you're working in a larger team or a smaller team, your working style has to change. You need to learn the language of your boss. Your boss could be you don't have to run all of these things by me, just do it, I trust you. Or it could be, no, everything that's going out externally, run it by me first, because I need to go through it. There's a lot. And then it's a new body of law. You might be working with criminal procedurals or civil procedurals, or just, different courts and different bodies of law have different rules and regulations. So when you're just bunny hopping from one seat to the other, it can be disruptive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be very disruptive.
No, honestly, even though we have like 1 year rotations, I even still, it's frustrating because like we get to the end of the year and I'm just like, okay, like let's go. I feel like if I was to stay in this department for another year, I would like skyrocket.
Yeah.
To switch.
I always miss the previous seat. And if I run into anyone, I'll be like, oh my gosh, how's this going? How's that going?
Because you remember all the cases.
I was working on it. You get invested. But I mean, that's the good side of the office environment. Let's talk about the not so fantastic side of the office environment. And for me, one of the big things is office politics, which you cannot escape. You cannot run from it because essentially your company is all these people from different sections of society and different walks of life coming together to do a job, and that's it. Like we're here because we're being paid to be here and work alongside each other. Sometimes great connections and communities are fostered, and other times, this is just not my person, or these are not my people. But I still have to come here and thrive and not just survive. So I just feel like office politics is a very weird game.
Which you can lose, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it can only be, I don't think anyone can teach you it. I think you have to be like immersed in it and then manage yourself, because it has a lot to do with how you come across as well. You will ruffle people's feathers. Like I've noticed that there are people that are just confident and they're just walking with their shoulders back and their head held high, and that could trigger an insecurity in somebody else who now believes that you're arrogant and you need taking down a peg or two. I've literally heard that she needs taking down a peg or two. I hate comments like that, but this is who you're working with. You're working with different people with different working styles and different personalities and different expectations. So I don't enjoy office politics at all.
Office politics is so it's a very nuanced place to be in, especially if you're coming from if you've never worked before, you need to observe.
Yes.
Don't involve yourself in helter-skelter drama, whisper here, gossip there. Mind your business and watch. Because you don't need to involve yourself in any of that.
100%.
Study, do your work, and then you can...
Degree apprentices
go home.
Actually have a solid excuse.
Too much to do.
You've got a lot on your plate. You do not have time for gossip.
Mind your
business. You do not have time for drama. You can literally just be like, listen, I've got to...
It's a lot.
Yeah, I've got to crack on with this lecture.
Yeah.
I use that all the time because I am not here for it. And it's almost a different language. And I feel like...
People love mess though.
Yeah.
They love drama.
But people are very coded.
Yeah.
And I know microaggressions is a whole different topic.
Race.
Yeah.
Whole different
people are very coded. And that's what I mean when I say office politics. It's almost like a different language you have to learn. Because somebody could be atting you.
Yeah.
But they could be saying the most pleasant words.
Oh, 100%.
And everybody
smiling
else
as well
in this conversation or in this room knows exactly what the insult is, and you could just be smiling from ear to ear because you don't know what's going on, and you're like, oh, thank you, and it's just like,
it is off.
It's definitely a language that you should learn, but I just don't engage with it. Run where you can, run away where you can. Stay
away from it. I think what I hate the most about being in the office environment as a whole is competition culture, which is like what we've mentioned before, but I just think it is vile, and vile is a very strong word, but
it's necessary. It's an appropriate word.
I think it can really bring out the worst in people, and for some people it can actually bring out the best in them, as in they will do the absolute most to win, which can be a very favorable result for which can be a very favorable result for like the client or the case if, you know, they've put in like a lot of work and, you know, they're trying their best.
Like the hyper-zealous lawyer.
Yeah. But I do, but it's true. Like some people, they really need to feel like they're above other people. Or like, this is a game and I'm winning. I'm at the top. I'm doing the best. I don't like that. Obviously, personally, that's like, I just don't see the need.
It's not realistic as well.
Yeah.
If that's what you need to function, then you're going to struggle because that's not life. But yeah, competition culture is very, vile is a very accurate word. Especially in our industry, people are fighting for...
They will drag.
They're fighting for that training contract. They're fighting for that promotion. And yeah, this is where I take a moment to thank God and say, thank you for this solicitor apprenticeship, which is a package deal. And things are back to back to back. I don't have to worry about, I'm a graduate, where am I going to do my training contract? It's afterwards. I don't have to worry about where am I going to find the money for the SQE? It's being paid for. So, you're in a, I think degree apprentices are in a good position to escape competition culture, but no, that's not true.
Because
I think we're actually put on in the spotlight a little bit. It's actually quite hard.
Okay, so every episode we will be answering a question, reacting to a scenario, and giving advice where appropriate. So feel free to send any of your questions, situations, or whatever you guys are thinking about to apprenticeish@gmail.com.
And it will be anonymous, of course.
I mean, if you send the email with your name in the thing, it's not gonna be...
I mean, when we read it out...
when we read it... Okay, yeah, sorry.
When we read it out, we're not going to be like,
no.
Julie from
Reading. Sorry. Julie from Reading, we don't know you.
So, this one is called How to Handle Office Gossip About Yourself. So I'll read out the scenario. I am a first year analyst apprentice at a large bank and going through a rough patch. Recently found out some other analysts were gossiping and talking negatively about me to other analysts. This has led to other analysts being influenced and also giving me weird looks. The entire environment has just become toxic for me at this point, and I just quietly sit at my desk and do my work. The people gossiping. See, I said poor. Poor you. The people gossiping apparently never liked me. No idea why. And consider me a weak analyst apprentice who makes mistakes. Some of their gossip topics are having a coffee discussion over what mistakes I make or aspects of my personality. I'm far from a perfect analyst apprentice and trying to do better every day, but I really don't see the need to ridicule someone. Apparently everyone likes these people better, so they tend to go with what they're saying and give me weird glances or don't talk to me if I approach them. Getting tired of this going on. It's been going on for months and I'm unable to confide in HR or upper management because it might come off as childish. The entire situation is distracting at work. Advice.
First of all, I'm actually really sorry. That is such a nasty work environment to be in.
It's giving high school.
Secondary, primary, nursery. I don't know.
It's horrible.
So I'm like really sorry to hear about that. But I think what I will say is a couple things. First of all, this is a really good example about perspective. I think where you're saying they're giving you weird glances, or you know, you feel like they're talking about you, or you feel like it's uncomfortable, I think that is very much based on perspective. Like if you already think that these people don't like you, everything they do is going to be perceived by you to be problematic, or in some way trying to like take a dig at you. I do think, number one, check your sources. Where are you getting this information from? You know a lot. So I'm just like, how do you know they're having like all of these meetings about you? How do you know that, you know, other people like them better? How do you know? I just think make sure the information you're getting is correct and accurate. Maybe the person who's telling you is a part of them. They don't like you either. How about that? Which is actually not far-fetched in some workplaces.
Sometimes the messenger is the actually.
Anyway, never mind my business. So I do think probably check your sources. I would also just say build up your confidence and your identity as well. They may consider you a weak analyst. Nobody's saying that you're perfect. You're literally there to learn. And part of the apprenticeship is to learn, is to make mistakes. Even if you feel like you're mediocre, the point is that you're progressing. So by the end of it, you are a qualified person. So I do think give yourself a lot of grace, but also mind your business.
100%.
I personally feel like somebody else's opinion about you has got nothing to do with you. Some people don't like me. I
don't care.
I didn't want to say, but you did.
Yeah, don't care.
Yeah.
I feel like you should deal with what's on your plate, what's in your front.
There's too much to do.
Exactly. And you say that, you are trying to better yourself every day and you're trying to work on being a better analyst.
Yeah.
So do that. And if you're looking at your screen and not looking at the coffee discussion that's being had about it, it's easier said than done. It depends on your disposition. You and I are very much like, if you're not coming to my face to say it in front of me, it doesn't exist. Do you know what I mean? And other people are like, that whisper sounded like my name. Do you know what I mean? It's very, 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 very person specific. But I would say the best piece of advice I could give this person is to speak to somebody that they trust in their line of work, probably in that company, who is more senior. Because I could tell you, go to HR, because at my firm, maybe HR is your best friend and they are your advocates and they support you. But HR at your company, they're literally not really concerned with how you feel and your feelings and your emotions. They just want the work to be done. And maybe the person that you're reporting is not somebody that HR can
do anything about.
Exactly. So you need to speak to somebody in closer proximity to the situation who has the wisdom and the foresight to give you some real advice. But don't let it's going to come off as childish be the reason that you don't go to upper management or HR, because if anyone's being childish, it's those people. This is textbook bullying. Thank you. It's textbook bullying. It's textbook harassment. And those people are too grown to be doing that, to be doing that mess. They're too grown to be doing that. So if you do decide to report this, you're probably the only person in this situation that's not going to come off as childish. So that should not be, the fear of that should not be a reason that you don't escalate this. But yeah, one thing that really stuck with me is that you're saying the whole thing is distracting to your work. That's the thing that you need to hone in on, because if their talk is dragging you away from the skills that you came here to learn and hone and develop, then they've already won. So you have to work on that. That's what I would say. But that is a really sad situation.
It is.
And first year. So,
just
arrived and you're already receiving bad vibes. That's not fun. But I hope that advice was helpful. I hope it serves you well.
Indeed.
And then the last section of our episode is the golden nugget section, where we give a tip or a quote or a recommendation, just something to serve you. And we'll be doing one each. So do you want to do yours?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Okay.
My golden nugget is don't do the apprenticeship just because it looks good. Mind your business and face your front.
Very, very, very true.
No explanation needed.
Very on the head, yeah. And mine is a degree apprenticeship is a marathon, not a race. And that is courtesy of my skills coach, who is basically telling me, slow down, you're moving too fast. And the finish line is not in sight. So yeah, I think that one is sort of self-explanatory as well.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.